You know, I see lots of YouTube channels that take lots of really beautiful images and they put these montages together. And I think that's great. I think that it can give you some really cool ideas on what you can put in your backyard. But here's the thing, all of that beauty doesn't really serve you if you don't know how much it costs or why it's beautiful. Why is your eye drawn to it? In this video, I'm gonna break down several images like you've seen in those montages, but I'm actually gonna give you some information that's gonna help you so you understand how to budget for a project like that, why your eye is drawn to it, and what to expect if you're gonna hire somebody and the types of people you should be looking for to install it, because some of these projects, they're pretty intricate. You wanna make sure you hire a company that knows what the heck they're doing. Let's get right into it. All right, if we haven't met, my name is Bobby K. I'm a professional landscape designer and installer, and this channel is geared towards people who are super busy but want an awesome space, an awesome yard. I'm here to help you, giving you design tips and telling you how much stuff really costs when it comes to hiring a contractor or if you want to do it yourself. So in this video, what I want to do is break down some beautiful landscapes and tell you why they're beautiful and how much you can expect to cost out this, price this out, you know what I'm saying, if you want to install something like this. First picture, love this. I think it's beautiful. It's very simple. And why your eye is drawn to this is for a couple of reasons. You obviously have a lot of pretty plants. That's a given. You got color. But what you'll see is there's different heights and textures going on. And then you've got some interest with the beds. It's got some curves going on. And what breaks it up is they have this beautiful focal point coming, which is this birch tree. So instead of just putting all these beautiful flowers in there, which would still look nice, breaking it up with a focal point, a birch tree, a Japanese maple, maybe it's a pot, maybe it's a boulder, if it's an elevated bed, something like that provides interest. So that's why your eye goes to something like this. If you're gonna price this out, if you were gonna pay somebody to install this right here, you're probably gonna pay between $7,500 and $10K, somewhere in there. Next picture. This is cool. I love stuff like this. Here in St. Louis, we can't really put stuff like this in. Not really. This is in Arizona or somewhere west, California, maybe even in Florida, because of the types of plants that are in here. You got some succulents, you got some, it looks like aloe, you got some ground cover. The reason this is so cool and why your eye goes to it is because of the different types of plants that are there, but it's also the hardscaping. It's the flagstone steppers and the ground cover that goes in between. Instead of it just being a regular walkway or stepping stone and gravel, they're actually bringing that green into the design, like into the hardscaping, which makes it just really pleasant to look at. If I was gonna install this and price this out, just this path and these plants, that might be around $3,500 for a professional to come in and do it. If you wanted to do this yourself, you could get all this stuff, probably 1,500 bucks, and have a fun weekend. But make sure you pay attention to your spacing and how you're gonna pocket in the boulders and the flagstone and make it work. Don't just like throw everything down because you're on a time crunch. Take some time with something like this. Next one. If you've been on Google, you've been on Pinterest, you've been on YouTube, I am sure that you've seen this picture. This picture is kind of famous. And the reason it is because people are always searching for the term privacy screen or natural privacy or how do you do it? And a lot of the times you're gonna see arborvitae's come up, which is what's in here. But what I like about it is instead of a normal fence where you just kind of take it down the driveway and it separates you from the neighbors, you've got the arborvitae's, but then they stopped and they broke it up by putting some other landscaping in there with pops of color. You got the coleus, you got some perennials. It looks like you got a boxwood or a holly here. I can't really tell what that is, but it's interesting. So why your eye goes to this is it's interesting. It's simplistic, but at the same time, they didn't just do all arborvitae's, they broke it up. I'd say you pay about $2,500 to have this installed by a professional. Next one, I love this. This is really cool. And the reason it pops so much is the walkway, of course, goes off of the stone of the house, so they're playing off those elements, but it's the lighting as well. They've got these really cool lanterns that are lighting up that investment, that really cool walkway going up to the house. Think about landscape lighting. If you want a professional to install landscape lighting, like good quality lighting, you're gonna be between, I'd say $150 and $200 a light installed. And then with the wiring, it's usually a 12-2 wiring with the transformer. Expect to pay between $250 and $400 for that, depending on how long the runs are and how much lights and all that. Obviously, the more lights you get price breaks, but I'd say $150 per light installed is a general rule of thumb, because the light's gonna run anywhere between $70 to $80 per light. But the lighting is why this picture pops. Next one. Okay, I think you've probably seen this picture too if you've been on Google or Pinterest. The reason this landscaping is so great is it's got lots of different colors and balance, and the spacing is good between everything so that it's kind of an open concept, but it's got that formal vibe. It goes really well with the house. So when you're designing, think about a theme. Think about what is gonna fit with my house and make it pop off the page. That's why this picture is so darn good. If you were gonna landscape the front like this, I think you're gonna spend between 10 and 15K. I know I'm giving big ranges, but there's a couple of variables involved in this, but I think that's what it would take to get this job done. All right, we got 2 more pictures. Stay with me. This one is a great picture as well. I love the hostas, I love the simplicity, I love the curviness. Everything is framing. You got good color balance, you got different heights and textures, and you got all these trees in there which break it up, which is cool. But here's why this picture pops. It's the gravel path, and it's the color of the stone that they use. That blue, it's like a trap rock, a 3/8 inch trap rock, and then it's framed up with black steel edging, kind of like you would see at a botanical gardens. That's how they typically are gonna put their pathways in. Why? Because it's cost effective, they got a lot of ground to do. If they did pavers, they'd blow their budget out of the water. This is a cool way, if you're on a budget, to create a pathway that looks cool and is cost effective. That path, take the plantings out, because there's tons of plantings in here, but that pathway right there installed by a professional, say it's a 30-foot run, you're probably talking about $1,200, so it's not too crazy to put something like that in. You got the fabric, you got the rock, you got the steel edging, and you got the labor. Okay, final picture. The reason I picked this one is because of the different kinds of textures and the different kinds of materials that are involved in this. You got everything from, it looks like a basic paver, to a Pennsylvania blue natural paver, which is around the fire pit. And then you've got this wood seating backdrop. So you've got natural elements, paver elements, and you've got wood elements on top of the other stuff. And then it's combed out with some basic landscaping. If you were to have a fire pit area like this with this patio, this is probably around a $20,000 investment. But as far as the landscaping, since we're talking about why your eye is drawn to this, it's because of the different materials that are involved in this. It creates a lot of interest. It's very cool, and it's a simplistic design. If you stuck around this long, I am so pumped to have you. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe and tell me where you're from. I want to hear who is watching this video and what did you like? And if you like these kind of videos, go check this video out. And remember that creation is everything. So go out and create some cool stuff like this. See you on the next one.